Okay, so let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to interrupt here. It's important that you keep understand all the concepts we are going through today. That's our agenda for today. So I'm going to do the first three here. What's DataMiner? What the resource we have available for you to use and that we are going to need for next week. Now, as Miguel's explained, our approach to the market is to build a community. We are going to show you the numbers, how large is our community today and how much people have involved on DataMiner. And then from the fourth bullet beyond, Miguel is going to walk us through how to create our accounts and how to access the online system and the walkthrough on DataMiner. So that's, I think, it give most of the time we're going to spend today is how things are connected inside of DataMiner. That's the basics. And then a briefing explanation how will be next week, the 2 days. And hope you enjoy this. Okay, so DataMiner is our platform. The company, in fact, is called Skyline. Sometimes people just confuse these two, but Skyline, we are about 350 people in the crew today, spread around the world. We have base in Asia, in Europe, and in the US, but we have many other offices, right? So our product is intended to deploying, planning, monitoring, controlling, automation, very focused on the media operations. We have a lot of expertise in media. DataMiner has been around for 25 years. So it's a very mature platform, have been through a lot of cycles, and we have customers that has been with us for 25 years. We really have a long-term approach with our customers in terms of the support, in terms of how we deploy things and what the needs they will have now, and how strong is the platform, how we support the platform is really intended to be a partner for long-term. We don't really have short-term projects. Everything here talk about months and years sometimes. And we have been successful so far in keep these to be present on the accounts. Now we have accounts that has been with us for 20-something years. So DataMiner as a platform. Now the way we used to explain this is split this in the stack, like you have the TCP/IP protocol, STI protocol, any kind of protocol, is to explain by segmenting what you do, right? So at the bottom here, you have your physical infrastructure, right? Your real infrastructure can be a cloud, can be virtual, can be hardware. We connect to these devices, elements, or systems using a driver. Now we call the drivers connectors. There is few ways to do this. In fact, many ways to do this. And inside of DataMiner, we replicated all the data that you can get from your element, your real element. And we create what we call a digital twin. So the digital twin is a data representation of elements. There can be an encoder, can be a switcher, can be a I/O port, or can be a cloud system, can be a subsystem, etc. Whatever, we are going to have copy of this that allows us to manage these elements. So when you have all these data, now it's this data lake with all this information, DataMiner has many different functions inside. And the functions are like routing functions, dashboard functions, scheduler functions, trending functions, forecasting functions. And you can pick and choose these different functions to create your application. And that's what comes here for the data consumption. That means how these solutions that you create using the functions inside of DataMiner connect to your physical infrastructure, how they are going to behave, and how you are going to share these information with the world. There is many ways to extract information from DataMiner. Today, you are going to use mainly the cube, that's the client. but you can also use HTML page that you call dashboards, and you have a tool for that as well. As well, you can use any other system. Another strong part of DataMiner is the ability not only to gather data, but also to share data. We are very transparent in the way we do this, and it's very powerful. So you can connect DataMiner with other systems, OSS, BSS, schedulers, incident managers, manage other kind of managers to create your own infrastructure. We have customers, for example, that they use DataMiner to control their infrastructure, and where the engineering guys, they use Cube to access the system. The management team use dashboards because it's easy, the operation mainly is easy for the operation to have dedicated screens, dashboards. And the company, the C-level, by default, they use Power BI for everything. So they just load everything in Power BI. So it's the same system, and you can feed different visualizers or data consumption tools. Skyline, we have about 350 people, but on our community, we have about 7,000 guys today registered and interacting through our website. Now that's the numbers we have for systems deployed worldwide. Here are examples of different applications that were built using DataMiner. And from the point of view of the operation, what we try to achieve with DataMiner is a tool that can connect your infrastructure with the unique way that your company operates, right? So the idea of this circle here is at the bottom, you are going to have your elements, your systems, so your hardware where your signals are flowing, your processes are happening. DataMiner is in the middle, and he connects all this with your operation, right? So you can extract information from DataMiner and position this information, transform this data in information, position this for different levels inside of the operation, inside of the organization. You can create a really business process. So every time we start talking about projects, we always asking customers, but how you do things, how you do this, why you do this way? Because the idea is when we understand your cycle, your process, how your approvals work, how many people is involved, what's the level of knowledge of your people, we can translate this inside of DataMiner. So that's what Miguel was saying. It's a very powerful tool, and that's important for us to understand how the system, how your solution works, how your operation works, and how you want to consume this data, and that allows us to create a better integration with your infrastructure. Of course, because the platform, huge part of that is work together. We may know about DataMiner, but we don't know about your business. We don't know about your operation. And that's what we are always interacting with the customer, always need the customers. They need to decide how they want to do things, right? And to better do this, we have a DevOps program that is to empower you, and Power is part of that, the program we're going to see next week, to interact with us, to be more knowledgeable about DataMiner. And there is a program for that where you can acquire credits and interact more and to become experts, right? The reality is we use the tools that we are used to have, right? If you have a hammer, you're going to hammer everything. If you know the software Excel, we are going to do everything in Excel. If you know DataMiner, we are going to do a lot of things in DataMiner. If you know other software, you are going to do everything in that other software. So if you better understand the tools that you have, you become an expert on that, and it's easier for you to deploy and interact with that tool. So the intention of the DevOps is a free program that helps you to go all the way inside of our development cycle and our agile system, and interact with our people, now different levels of people, and this is gonna give you much more expertise in how to do things inside of DataMiner and make your life easy. I'm gonna jump this here. Is just about software development. I want to send these slides for you afterwards. You can have a more detailed look on that. Security is something very important everywhere today. So talk about software first requirements. How secure is your software? How is the access? How I am confident that's not something bad is going to happen. That's part of the IP technology. You'll be here forever. So we have all this security features in place, multi-factor authentication, encryption, database encryption, etc. We have a dedicated team for security inside of DataMiner. We run pen tests, external pen tests every year. So we are really prepared to the full extent to support what the technology requires from us. Okay, so far, any questions? We are good. I'm too fast, too slow. Okay, so that's the stack I was talking about. Let me see what I want to explain here. Okay, so and that's how we integrate everything, right? So when you look at DataMiner here, you have the stacks I was talking on, your physical layer, the connectors, the data consumption, the data processing here, and the data consumption. And that's how it looks like the whole ecosystem where DataMiner is inserted. So these small blue hexagons here are the DataMiner agent. That is that code that is the agent that is going to connect to your infrastructure. So they have a limitation that should be X number of elements. Let's say 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, depend of your license that you have for each of them, or how much processing you are doing in each of them. When you need to scale the system, you just add new nodes of DataMiner. So if you want, you can choose these in terms of your architecture. There is some decisions here. Perhaps if you need some resilience or some redundancy in terms of if one system fails, the other part of the system should not be impacted for that. For example, if they lose connection, right? So the internet is off or the link is off and they lose connection, if they should keep operating autonomously, or if they should be connected, or they should take over the functions of the other. So there is a few options in terms of the architecture for the backups, redundancy, main and secondary. But the idea is you have these DataMiner agents. They can connect with your physical hardware or your virtual elements, right? So you have instances in the cloud, virtual machines, virtual encoders, switches, whatever. You just connect to them. We support all of those. These are the database that we use. It's not we are not going to talk much about database today, either to be doing the Empower. So when you connect all these data miners, you can create your applications here, and that's what we call unified security. Important thing here is if DataMiner has more data inside of our database, he can become a single source of truth. So that means we can exactly know what each element is and what he's doing. And this allows us to create different applications and relate different data sets inside of DataMiner. You have a single and secure way to authenticate yourself and access the platform. And that's all the resource that are available for you to interact with DataMiner. That's not exactly DataMiner related, but for example, here you are going to have our CI/CD pipeline, so how we deploy and we validated the codes and drivers, etc. The project collaboration is our portal where every DataMiner deployment is followed, right? So you're going to see all the tasks there. So that's the tool we use for project management. We work in Agile in sprints. So we are very focused on this methodology. It's the best methodology we have found so far for the software deployment for the kind of software we do. So try to deliver very fast the first MVPs, the minimal viable product, for the people start working, and then they can understand what they can do, and we can understand from them as well what are the requirements, what are the needs, and it is always changing. So that's why Agile is a very good fit for us. You have various ways to access the DataMiner remotely. So the client, the dashboards, or export this for third tools. And you have our DataMiner community. So we are going to take a look on our DataMiner community now. That's the dojo, and all the resources you have in there to help you. Another thing we're going to explore next week as well is the integration with messengers, so like Teams and others that we call chat ops, that allows you to interact with DataMiner without having a dashboard or a client, etc. You just send a comment and he answers to you what you have. So that's the whole ecosystem when we're talking about DataMiner. Okay, let's jump this here. Just show this here briefly. These are the functions that you are going to find inside of DataMiner, so that you can pick and choose to create your own solutions. Usually we aggregate them for synergy, what kind of purpose, for the purpose of the different functions here. Usually they are aggregated by routing, or for infrastructure management, or for service management, or for service overview. So we are going to explore all of them. Let me jump here for our dojo.
Are you going to present Dojo, or should I do it, Silvino?
You can do it. I'm going to post the links here on the chat while you do this.
Mm-hmm. If you want, I can take it from here and I can continue.
Yep.
Okay.
Please.
I'm trying to share my screen. Give me a second. Can you stop sharing maybe? I don't know why I cannot. Let's go back for a second. Silvino was already presenting the company, Skyline Communications, and he also explained the way we work. Now, what I would like to do for the next hour is to get you prepared, get you ready to make the most of the Empower event. So we need to do a few things in order for you to be able to complete all the exercises, to be able to access the resources and all of that. But before we get into that, I think that there are a few concepts that are very important to understand. And unfortunately, we won't have the time to cover all these concepts during the Empower. The Empower is usually something that is very technical, is very hands-on, but it will start from a certain point. You will start doing exercises, but to a certain extent, it it assumes that you already know what is DataMiner, what is a DataMiner agent, what are the client applications that we use, and all of that. So in order to get you up to speed, I want to cover this very quickly. And the first thing is, what is DataMiner, right? Basically, it's an end-to-end integration. Okay, the idea is to integrate all of your ecosystem of devices, of applications, everything into one single pane of glass. You will be able to see your entire infrastructure from end to end, regardless of the vendor, the technology that you're integrating with. And this is very powerful because it will allow you not only to monitor, but also to control and to orchestrate different workflows and different things that are in your system that have no other way to talk to each other than maybe with DataMiner. So DataMiner, although it can be used for many industries and applications, it was designed and it's focused on the IPTV, HFC broadband, satellite broadcast, IT, mobile, and telecom industries. This is where the majority of our projects are. And the reason why this is important is because if you go to our catalog, and let me see if I can open it here. This is the catalog of the connectors that we have available today. I would say that 95% of these connectors are in those industries. So as you start working with DataMiner in a new project, you're going to find that many of the devices that you want to integrate with are already available. So if I search for Cisco, you can see here all the Cisco devices that we have integrated with. If I search for Microsoft, we have the Microsoft platform connector, which basically is the one that is used to communicate with the Windows machine. But what is a connector? A connector is the way that we tell DataMiner, that we instruct DataMiner how to communicate with another system. It can be a physical device, or it can be a platform. It can be a service on the cloud. As long as that system has an interface that we can use to communicate, whether it is an API or maybe SNMP, or many years ago it was serial, as long as there is an interface, we can create a connector to allow DataMiner to have this communication with the device. Let me bring you back to the presentation. So that's a little bit the concept of DataMiner, to build a single pane of glass, making all the underlying complexities of the individual components are going to be masked. Also, you're going to have native flexibility and agility, because you're going to be able to leverage all the built-in modules and features of DataMiner to rapidly put together a solution according to your needs. Let's continue here. So this is the technology stack in a way that Silvino was mentioning. You have DataMiner here in the middle. It can be one DataMiner agent, one node, or it can be a cluster of them. They can be hosted on premises, on a physical server, or on a virtual machine, or they can also be hosted on a cloud service provider. Okay. This DataMiner system, wherever you decide to deploy it, is going to be communicating with a plethora of systems. Those are going to be your network equipments, your databases, all of the systems that, vendor-specific orchestrator, anything that you want DataMiner to integrate with and to be able to gather information from, provided that there is a connector for that. We're going to be connecting to. One thing about the connectors that you might be asking at this point is, well, but what happens if we don't have the connector, or what happens if you don't have the connector yet? what we do is, regardless of whether the connector is available or not, the price is the same given the complexity of the connector and all of that. If the connector is available in our catalog, you can install it and start using it right away. If the connector is not available in our catalog, we're going to develop it, and you're going to have the connector in a few weeks, depending on the complexity. But basically, the price is the same and everything is the same. And once you order a connector, you will have access, provided that you're under maintenance, you will have access to the new versions that are being released. So that is on the southbound, and please feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions. I much rather this presentation to be a little bit more interactive. I know that this may sound, this might be completely new to you, but because of that, if you have any questions, if something wasn't clear, please let me know, okay? On the northbound, so all the applications that can interact with DataMiner, we have the DataMiner client applications. This will allow you to interact to all of the information that is available inside DataMiner, from your cell phone, from your computer, from your tablet, from any device that you have available. That sometimes it will be from inside your network. In some instances, you can make certain information available through the internet, provided that the people that the users have access to that information. So there is really multiple client applications, and we're going to take a look at them later. There is the portal, dataminer.services. There are the APIs. We have a built-in API, an off-the-shelf API that any application, any third-party application can use off the shelf. And you also have the possibility to design your own APIs and expose any piece of information that is available in DataMiner to third-party applications. Okay. This second option, the user-defined API, is something that we're going to dive into more detail during the Empower event. And that's it. So what is a DataMiner agent? As I was saying earlier, a DataMiner agent is one machine, one VM running DataMiner. This is a Windows machine. The operating system is always going to be Windows. Windows Server 2019, 2022, depending on your needs. Data storage. The data storage can be on a dedicated server, or it can be on the cloud, what we refer to as storage as a service. We use Cosmos DB. Previously, we used Cassandra, Elastic. So there are different options, different flavors that you can choose from. DataMiner software itself is a collection of services that you can find in the computer where DataMiner is installed, and they are identified with the notation. They start with SL, all of them, SL protocol, SL log, SL standing for skyline. And this is important to know. The software DataMiner, it's the same in every single node. Okay, we're going to see that now when we go to the DataMiner system, because a DataMiner system is a group of DataMiner agents connected together, sharing information among themselves. And this has the purpose to give the users the possibility to look at the entire system from a single pane of glass. So when you connect through the client to DataMiner, you will be able to see your entire system as if it was a single consolidated system, regardless of how many agents you have in your cluster. Okay, so it gives you a complete overview of your system from end to end, and it's masking all the internal intrinsicies of the system. You, as a user, you don't care what DMA, what agent certain device belongs to. You want to see everything. So that is what a DataMiner system does. And on top of that, it gives you much easier management of your DataMiner system, because all the administration tasks, such as installing protocols, upgrades, deploying templates, configurations, and all of that, once you have your cluster set up, you only have to do it once, and it will be automatically distributed throughout the entire cluster. So you don't have to, administer each independent node. It will be done automatically when the cluster is configured. Okay. So the client applications, I was mentioning them earlier, and this is a very important thing. There is a DataMiner cube, and the DataMiner cube is the main administration and client application that you're going to use. And I say that is the main because there is really no other application that allows you to do everything that the cube does. You're going to see that there are other applications like the web applications. These are HTML5 web applications that are completely cross-platform. You can open them in any operating system, any device, any browser, but they don't have the power and the possibilities that are offered by the DataMiner cube. The DataMiner cube is only available in Windows machines. So if you're using a different operating system, you will have to use the DataMiner web apps. Normally, the web applications are designed for a very specific purpose. The intention is to give the operators, the users, very simple use or capabilities, something that is very well defined. On the DataMiner cube side, it can be a little bit overwhelming if you're not familiar with it, because you're going to see that you have many options and tools, and basically everything is available here. And this is something that I'm going to show you in a moment, so that you understand what I'm referring to. And last but not least, we have the DataMiner.services. DataMiner.services, I'm going to open it here. This is our cloud infrastructure. Basically, it allows you to connect from any computer, to authenticate, and it gives you certain access and certain control to your DataMiner system, to your information, provided that this is something that you have configured. So for instance, I have many organizations here that I belong to. So if I select Empower, this is the one that you're going to use. First of all, you can see that there are multiple applications. There is collaboration, catalog that we already looked at, sharing, the community, and an administration application. And down here, you can see all the DataMiner systems that I have access to in this organization. And I can open the cube, I can go to the root, to the home, and I can do certain actions as well. Okay, let's stay here for a moment, because I wanted to show you what the DataMiner cube looks like. This is a system that we have available for demo. Basically here on the top, I'm going to show you now the user interface so that you know what you're looking at. Here on the top, you have the name of the system, you have the search bar, you have the user information, so the account. Okay. On this panel to the left, you have different tabs that you can choose. You have the surveyor, and the surveyor is this bar here that gives you a hierarchical view of your entire system. And again, in here, you are going to see the entire system, whether it is one DataMiner agent or 10 DataMiner agents together in a cluster. Okay, it's all available in one tree view. So this is the surveyor. Basically, well, let's go to the second one. This topology, we're going to skip it for now. This is available in some instances for certain solutions. Activity is going to show you the most recent locations in the DataMiner that you have visited as a user. And then you have the applications, all the different modules and applications that are available in this particular DataMiner system. Here on the top, you have the modules, which are part of DataMiner, and you either enable, they are enabled depending on the license. So a normal DataMiner system, or let's say a basic DataMiner system, comes with a certain number of modules. And if you have specific licenses, you might be able to unlock other modules. But regardless, your DataMiner system or your DataMiner software is always going to be the same. We don't have different flavors of DataMiner. Okay. Down here we have the applications that are installed in this system, and you will be able to create many of these applications yourself. And as a matter of fact, this is something that we're also going to cover next week during the Empower, how to create a low-code application. We call it low-code because it's very important that the operators, the engineers that are using DataMiner, they can present the information that is available in DataMiner in any way, shape, or form that they desire. Sometimes even without deep knowledge on programming skills and development and all of that. So we give you a certain number of tools that allow you to create these applications really without writing a single line of code if you don't want to. Of course, if you are a programmer, and I'm sure some of you are, you will be able to do much more with DataMiner. You will be able to create automation scripts. You will be able to create maybe even a connector to interface with a data source that you want to integrate into DataMiner. But if you're not a developer, you can do a lot in DataMiner. Okay. So there is that. And any questions so far? Am I going fast? Am I going too slow? Is this interesting?
Miguel, can you show, for example, how you connect the element? No, so you show the systems here, so that's like a overview when you are looking top down.
Yeah.
And you show now how the connector, how the elements goes through the connector and goes through the parameters, the functions, etc. And you aggregate all these things in one of these workflows here.
Yes. So here in the surveyor, again, we have the tree structure of the system, and this is organized in views. So you have views that are identified with this icon. You have elements, that an element is the virtual representation in DataMiner of a data source. It could be a physical device, or it could be a service. It could be anything that you want it to be. And you also have services. This is something that we're going to talk about later. But you notice here that they are identified with a different icon. The elements, which are the ones that we're going to see now, they are a square. So let's take a look at them real quick. And the reason why this is important is because next week, when you are in Empower and you are designing, you're creating your own dashboards, your own applications, you need to understand where the information is coming from. Otherwise, you're going to struggle trying to present that information in these applications. And the information is always going to come from an element, from views. You also have alarms down here Okay, so in case of doubt, you always want to come here to Cube and to explore your system, to get familiar with it, so that you understand what you're seeing in the application. Last thing that I wanted to show you is this big area right here. This is what we call the cards or the visualization. And if you notice, every time that I switch to a different entity, to a different entity here, right now I'm on the top level view, scene.com, and this is the visualization that is showing me. This is completely customizable, and as a matter of fact, this is defined in Visio, but you build the framework, you build the blueprint in Visio, and then when it's loaded inside DataMiner, it's able to present real-time information that is coming from DataMiner. So it's a very interesting combination, or you know, it combines the features of Visio in terms of the design, but it also integrates all the possibilities available in DataMiner. Let me see if I go to hosting here. This is the default view, so you can see. And from here, we have the possibility to navigate. So this is telling me that there is one view inside this view. So Tamer, it's one view. Let me go to operations. This is the one that is used for the demo. So we have Africa, Australia, Europe. If we go to Europe, let me see. It's taking a little bit of time to load. So you see the different hierarchy of the different views, and this is important to know because primarily DataMiner evolved from a monitoring system. Even though today we can do many more things, it's fundamentally a monitoring system, and alarms are deeply integrated in everything that we do. As I was showing you earlier, you can see the alarm console down here with all the active alarms of a specific part of your system. And when you are here navigating the surveyor, you can see the severity of the alarms impacting each view and each element. So what this means, in this case, you have Europe. This is red, this is critical. And what this means is that there is at least one critical alarm impacting some of the elements or subviews that are under this view. In the case of Warsaw, you see that it has a blue color. That means that there is at least one alarm. We can see that it's coming from here and here. So basically the alarms bubble up and they impact the higher level views, and that is a way that you can have an overview of the entire system from any of the views. This shows you up here, this is kind of a navigation panel. It shows you the element that you have opened right here. This is probably not a good one. Let me search for another one. Microsoft. Let me see. Search for operations. Okay, so here we have a switch. Let's see what information we have. These are simple ones. I'm looking for, give me a second here. I'm gonna say, okay, so here you can see all of the elements that are under this view. And if I search for Microsoft platform, it's gonna show me these elements here. So I'm going to open a new card. And as I was saying, you can see here that this is the element that we have open, which is inside RDA, which is inside. So this is the entire hierarchy of this element, where it sits inside your system. It's up to you to define this hierarchy as you see, as it better works for you. And this is the visual representation that we assign to this particular element. Again, this is something that you can fully customize in Visio. But notice that this information and this color here, this is changing. And this is what I was referring to, that is actually showing you the real-time values that are coming from DataMiner. Okay, the graphics, they are coming from Visio, but the values, they are actually real-time, and they're coming from DataMiner. Here you can see the number of critical alarms in this device. You have some information about the element, the model, the operating system, the disk information, and here you have a graph that is showing you the evolution, the historic evolution of one parameter over time. So you can see that the usage, it's been around, you can see down here, it's been around 16% for the majority of the time, but there was a spike in utilization. As you can see here, this was October 24th, so it was today in the morning. Okay, probably this was the backup when it was doing the automatic backup. You can see that there was a spike in the utilization of the CPU. But this is not all of the information that you can use, or you have access to in this particular protocol. This is just a visualization. If we go to here, you can see all the different pages. So parameters are organized inside pages. We have a page for performance, which is this one up here. And you can notice that there is a ton of parameters or data points that are available to you. You have the option to monitor some of these parameters. As you notice here, this is indicating that this parameter is being monitored. And when a parameter is being monitored, you are defining, this is a good example actually. See here, when a parameter is being monitored, you are defining the thresholds that will determine when an alarm is raised. So in this particular case, you have a value that goes from 0 to 100. If it is from 0 to 50, there is no alarm. It's status, it's going to be normal. But if it goes from 50 to 60 or to 80, I'm sorry, I don't know if you can see it well there, but then it's going to create a warning. If the processor load goes from 80 to 90, it's going to create a major alarm. And if it goes from 90 to 100, it's going to be a critical alarm. This is a simple example of how you set up monitoring in DataMiner. And then down here, you can see some reports, but you also have the trending information. And this is also something that you configure. You determine which parameters you want DataMiner to trend. And basically trending means we are storing the data values, the data points over time in our database. So as you can see here, we have data in our database from several months ago. I think it's still loading because obviously it's a lot of data, but you can see that we've been trending this parameter for a long period of time. This graph is showing you here the different alarm thresholds. Oh, I did something here. So date. Okay, so it's showing you here the different alarm thresholds. On the x-axis, you can see the time, okay? And you can also zoom in, you can zoom out, you can do a number of things. Basically, this is very helpful for troubleshooting if you want to understand a certain parameter, how it's been behaving over time. But the cool thing about it is that you're going to be trending many parameters. So what you can do is you can combine different curves, different parameters into one graph. I could, for example, add additional parameters here. So right now I have the total processor load. This is the graph that you're seeing, but I could also add the total. I'm gonna have the disk. Let me see. We have total threads, I think. Physical memory usage. Okay. And I'm gonna say show trend. So now we are seeing, okay, now we're seeing two graphs or two curves or two parameters. We have the total processor load in green, and we have the physical memory usage in yellow. And by doing that, you can easily identify if there is any correlations, any behaviors that are, you can see, if there is any root cause of a behavior, a spike, you can correlate information this way. If you have any questions, let me know, but just to show you the possibilities with trending. So again, we have the parameters. This icon here, it tells you that this parameter is being trended. Okay, so all of these parameters are being trended here. And you have multiple pages. So you have performance, service list. So here you see, well, it's currently disabled. I'm not going to enable it. But basically, yeah, it's basically you can see all of the tasks. This is kind of the task manager. If you were to open the task manager in this server, I think that it doesn't allow me to do it because it's... So you have the disk information. Again, this is a demo system, so I don't have access to everything. So it shows you here the two disks, information about each disk, like the size, the free space, the disk usage, etc. So when you have all that information about one server, you can understand what's going on in that server from within DataMiner. You don't have to connect to the server. But as I mentioned earlier, you have that times many elements, right? You can bring your entire system, your entire ecosystem here. So in this particular case, we have licenses. So we have a number of 1,642 elements into this system. So imagine the possibilities of all this information available in one system that you can visualize, but not only visualize, you can also control some of this information. Provided that the interface allows it, you can change the values of some of these devices. So I'm gonna go to a test here that I was doing the other day.
Miguel,
yes.
Before you move out from the server, can you show the driver the server is using, the protocol?
Absolutely. So I'm here. So this is the element. As you can see, when I click on a different card, it's gonna bring me to the location in the surveyor. So in this case, this is the element. I can right click the element and I have some options here. Options like stopping the element. Basically, if I stop the element, what that is doing is that it's going to no longer continue to communicate with that device. DataMiner is going to stop the communication with that device. I can also pause it, or I can restart it, or if it was stopped, I could activate it. Here on edit, you have the information about how this element is configured. You can enter the name, the location where it's connecting to. In this case, this is a particular example because we're actually replicating this element from another system. But the protocol is this one here. So the protocol is Microsoft Platform and the version is production. And as you can see, we also assign one alarm template and one trend template. These templates are important because this is what determines what parameters are being monitored and what parameters are being trended. So we can see here what an alarm template looks like. Okay, so only two parameters being trended, or sorry, being monitored. And you can see that there is a bunch of parameters that are being trended. Okay. Now, the protocol. You can access it in many different ways, but I'm gonna bring you here. Let me do this. Protocols and templates. I want to view, I'm gonna say view available templates because I want to go to this module here. This module here is also available from this here, protocols and templates, and basically it shows all the protocols that are installed inside this DataMiner system. And again, this is where having a cluster to manage many agents comes in handy, because if I were to upload a new connector, I only have to do it once. The moment that it's installed, it's going to be installed in all of the agents of your cluster. So in this case, we have the Microsoft platform, and the Microsoft platform has multiple versions. Right now, we're using the production version. These are the templates that are available, and this is your element. Let's take a look at what a protocol looks like. A protocol is an XML file that combines XML code with C# code. And the C# code is used to implement the most advanced logic. We call it quick actions. And basically, well, these are the different versions. As you can see, this has been going on for quite some time. But this is an example of what the protocol looks like. In this particular case, we have the version, we have the name, we have some information, and we have the structure of the different parameters. And again, these parameters are organized inside pages. So everything that I showed you earlier, it's defined in here, in this protocol. So you have the structure of all the parameters in XML format. But if I keep going down, well, this is an example of a table. So tables are a specific type of parameter that has columns and rows, of course, and it allows you to present a lot of information. And if I continue down here, you can see the quick actions. As you notice, it's a different type of code, and this is written in C#. So if you're familiar with C#, you can read these and you can better understand what this driver is doing, what this connector is doing. Okay, so this is an example of what a protocol is. Silvino?
And that's open. I mean, so all the drivers, we have a special tool to create drivers, our SDK for the drive that's called DIS. We are going to have a session for this in the Empower as well. So it's how to create drivers and how to change drivers. So that's one of the reasons doing C# is to be easy accessible. So think about DataMiner as a platform, we want to be open, right? So bring data and exchange data, pull data from DataMiner, everything should be easy. Now, it's not proprietary. You don't need to pay a fortune to do any changes, etc. You can do it yourself. If you need help with that, you can hire us to help you, mentor, consultant, whatever you need to do your business process, right? So as in the first slide I showed, one of the first slides, the intent of the platform is to leverage your operations, to leverage your infrastructure, right? So, and that's, we understand that's what you call digital transformation, is really making data accessible, transform data in information and action that can help you to make things cheaper and faster. Well, I've been posting some links here on the chat. I'm not sure if I saw some people already entering and logging in our systems. So these links I've been posting here is basically what Miguel has been showing. So there is two platforms two accounts that you should be great if you join us on that. One is the Zine, that's online system. That's exactly the system that Miguel is using to show you. And the other one is the DevOps program, right? So when you have both, the DevOps programs help you to create credits on your account and gonna give you some perks along over the time. But I think it's very good if you can log in the online system. It's very easy. They're gonna send you a link. You can create any account that you like, your professional or your personal. And there is two courses to help you to navigate the Zine. So I post them here as well, the operator, the administrator. If you can go through this course before the Empower, I think it'd be very useful because it's gonna give you the understand how to navigate around the platform.
Are we going to do it now, or I don't know if we have time to continue here. We already looked at the cube, and what I'm showing you here, this is the applications that you have access. So this is the same system that I was showing you earlier, but this is from a web page perspective, and these are all the applications that are installed in this system. Applications like the satellite data, okay? And you can notice that these applications are purpose-built, are built for a very specific purpose. In this case, it shows information about the satellites. It allows you to add a new satellite. And again, you're going to go in detail during Empower, but I just wanted to show you the many different ways that you can interact with the information that is available inside DataMiner. This one is a penalty box application. The intention is to show whenever there is an alarm, basically monitoring different services, different video services, and you can monitor to see if there is any of them that is having any problems. Down here you can see that there is a thumbnail. Okay, you can see so many different ways to interact with the information. This application basically allows you, it's to manage the ping destinations. So we can do a simple ping, and this application, what it does is that it allows you to manage all of that in a very easy way with groups, and if you want to have it shows you what are the slowest destinations. So this one is taking much longer to respond. It can be overwhelming, and I definitely don't want to do that today. It's a lot of information for an hour, but the rest assured, I mean, there is a lot of information in our community, and this is what I wanted to go into now, if you allow me. So the first thing to do is to register in the community. I don't know if Silvino, is this something that we want them to do now, or they are going to do it on their own? Silvino, you're muted.
Sorry, sorry about that. If you have not done yet, please go to the first, this third link here. So no, I didn't post the link for the.
I think you did. I'm gonna put it here now. Let me see. Chat.
Now I posted
Okay.
the link here for the Zine. Yeah, the link here for the Zine, that's the third link I posted, is where you wanna have access to the same system Miguel was showing to you. So you can enroll in this program, and the fourth link. The fourth link is for the DevOps program.
Yeah. So the first thing that you need to do is to create an account in the community that way you can access all of the information. Second, you're going to enroll in the DevOps professional program. Notice that it's here under expert hubs. And this explains what the DevOps professional program is. It's important that you do it before Empower. You're going to sign up here. In my case, I'm already signed up, so it's not going to let me do it. And notice my internet is a little bit slow this morning. I apologize for that. But so basically, it explains what the DevOps professional program is. You're already joined the program. It's a way to encourage our clients and our partners to learn more about DataMiner and to share information with the rest of the community, while also winning rewards as an individual and also as a team, as a company. So some of the advantages of being a member in the DevOps professional program include winning points, and those points can be used to purchase some items from our swag shop. But as a company, when you decide to invest in DataMiner and to train your staff in DataMiner, you also get preferential access to information. You also get much faster response from our experts. And by the way, I wanted to show you here, we have this forum with questions and answers that you're welcome to browse. There is a lot of information, and the key thing about this community is that this is the same community that we use. You know, everyone in Scala, we use this community. So it's a very good communication between Scala employees and also our clients, partners, and anyone that decided to join the website. Something else that I wanted to show you. So we talked about the registration, sign up for the DevOps program. This installation, were you able to install a DataMiner Integration Studio, all of you? Anyone has any questions about this? If you have any. Mm-hmm.
Let me just, I think it's a good moment to explain what's going to happen next week. Exactly. So you don't need to install DataMiner on your machine. So next week, you are going to spin a DataMiner in the cloud, each one of you, and then you are going to use that your DataMiner to create and explore different use cases. The only application that needs to be installed in your laptop will be this, and this is the SDK to change drivers. It's a Windows application, so Mac users, you need to find you can follow, but I don't think you would be able to install this on your laptops. But you can follow the session anyway. And the online version, the online DataMiner, that's what we're going to do. So that should be easier for everyone to create your own instance and try things by your own, right? So you can, while you're waiting for the next week, you can use the zine to explore how the operation view the different use cases and how they can interact with DataMiner.
Yes.
In the invite, there was a whole bunch of requirements. It's for Visual Studio and DataMiner Cube. Do we not need that?
You need the Visual Studio. Miguel is going to explain better. It means you need the Visual Studio for this.
Yes, you're going. Let me see. I'm not muted. Okay, great. So you're definitely going to need a Microsoft Visual Studio. A DataMiner Integration Studio is a plugin that you install inside the Visual Studio, and it's going to allow you to interact with the code, with the DataMiner code, or with the connectors code much easier. So there's going to be exercises during the Empower event where you're going to need to have the Visual Studio and the DIS. If you have any questions about that, you can send me an email. There is also information here in the community, and I think that we've already sent some of that, but we can definitely discuss it through email. The other thing that I wanted to show you is that you can request access to an online DataMiner system, which happens to be the same one that I was using here for this demo. This is a demo system that we have available online. You can gain access to the system so that you can get familiar with everything that I've been showing you, but with a little bit of more time. All you have to do is to follow the link that I just shared in the chat, and then enter your information here, and you're going to request a login. And that's it. You're going to gain access to a DataMiner system, and you're going to be able to explore at your pace. The other thing that I want to recommend is that you explore the learning resources that are available here in our community. There are courses, tutorials. There is a video library that is really impressive, and it's constantly adding new videos. So let me show you the courses, because this is something that it would be really nice if you could do it before next week. And it's really going to cover in more depth what I've been explaining. This one, the DataMiner Foundational. You can see that it has 3 different courses. These are not short, 10 hours, 11 hours, 4 hours. If you could start with the DataMiner operator, it's gonna give you so much information about DataMiner, about how to leverage the different options and the different modules. You're going to be able to use the time during Empower much more, because you're going to be able to understand what we're saying instead of listening to these terms and using the system for the first time. So I want to encourage you to do this. So you can see it covers information about trending, alarm, visual overview, information about the elements, dashboards. There is a ton of information here that is going to be very useful. And again, it would be beneficial if you can do it. We are 5 minutes to the end of the meeting, so we can use this time in any way that you want.
Yeah. Miguel, can you go to the Empower page and just to go quick over the
timetable?
So that's us.
Yeah.
Yes. That's Toronto.
Not Toronto. If you want to share, let me give you control. I don't know the.
See. Just a minute. Send my mail here. Okay, so if you go back for the page where you register for Toronto, okay, so the information where we are be the host is here. It's downtown Toronto. So you'll be here. So Liberty, I think this is called the Fashion District here. So easy to access. There is a parking lot in front. It's at $12 a day, and there is the subway and the here as well. So public access very easy. Oops. Let's go back here. So if you go here to the sessions, it's going to explain what we are going through. And here is, if you can take a look at what the different sessions you'll be, right? We are planning to start 8:30 and finish before 5. Is this okay, or you think it's better to start a little like about 9 and finish 5 something? 8:30 is okay. 2 courses here on DataMiner. Do the operator one. So there is operator and administrator. So this one, the one, number 1 and number 2. Number 1 is really how the interface works. And number 2 is more like a system administrator. So it's more like users, passwords, architecture, and how to create groups and a lot of things. So operator is really the one that's fundamental for you to have before next week. Okay, so we have 1 more minute. Any last minute questions? No? Okay, so thank you all for the time. Hope to see you next week. This has been recorded, so I'm going to share the record as well. You can review. And I will send the email with the links, so you have them in case you could not access here today. Thank you. See you next Wednesday.
Thanks, guys. See you then.
Bye. You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye.